Hey YouTube, we are mercifully done with Master League and the Little Cup there, and we are back into Open Great League, Open Ultra League, and Open Master League. So let's just look at some top Great League teams. Let's look at the rankings first because obviously not much has changed, but we'll talk about the rankings and we'll talk about the Great League teams, and then we'll talk about why is there baby stuff behind me, not basketball net. So we'll go over all that in the video. Pokemon. Having played the Toronto Regional and having just played last season GBL, the meta has not changed. Clodsire, Corsola, Mandibuzz, the fighters, Primate and Annihilate, Diggersby, Feraligatr, Gastrodon, Dunsparce. This is the meta, right? As you go down to 11 to 20, you get a little like how Carbink is still ranked 14. I have not seen a Carbink in 2 years, because why would you when your top Pokemon are Clodsire, resist, Primate resist, Diggersby resist, Gastrodon resist, Marowak resist, Pangoro resist Rock. Like there's so many things where Rock is resisted. So Carbink is just so overrated at 14. It's basically not used. But Azumarill and Quagsires and Malamars and Toxapex, like they are L out there. And they're still very, very strong. As we go on to like the 30s to 50s, there's some, I did it over and under, like underrated and overrated. Like I think something like Superior is underrated. Sandslash is still very, very strong. Drifloon's still very good. There's a lot of usable Pokemon in this meta. But yeah, the meta is pretty similar to last season. And what we're going to do is we're going to go over some of the teams that I used from the first week of the season, give my thought process, and give an idea of how to make them better if you were going to use them. So Starmie's the first one. I wanted to test it out. I think it is, I was going to say overrated. It's not overrated because it's ranked like 100 and something. It's just not useful. And you can see it at the regionals, and like Doombug brought it just as like a joke. Starmie and Bibarel, both very significantly buffed, both still not meta relevant. You can test it out if you want. Like Psywave is a great move. It's just very, very glassy. For the main problem with this is typing, kind of unique. Psywave, one of the best fast moves in the game. Surf, not a bad stab move at 12. Power Gem, not the best move. And just the problem is, if Surf is your best move you're throwing, it's not hard hitting enough for how glassy you are, in my opinion. But if you want to use it, you're weak to Dark, you're weak to Electric. So I put in Dunsparce as your safe swap, and then Jumpluff in the back. Just kind of, you need a little bit of bulk, right? So Dunsparce, Jumpluffs give you the bulk in the back. Dunsparce with Joyride can deal with the Electric. Not that Jumpluff is a fairy, but it has Fairy Wind, and then you can just hit most Darks pretty well. So I think it's a pretty balanced team there. Then we went to Arctibax with Ice Fang, and the recommended move is still Dragon Breath. And the reason the recommended move is Dragon Breath is because Dragon Breath is a 1-turn move compared to Ice Fang, which is a 2-turn move. Now, if you watch my video on this team, I basically said, like, here's your trade-off. You are now hitting super effective against all those ground that I just kind of mentioned, like Diggersby, Clodsire, Marowak. You're now hitting super effective against all those Pokemon, as opposed to Dragon Breath, which would be neutral across the board. So I think you pick up more wins against the top meta with Ice Fang, but that 1-turn Dragon Breath versus 2-turn is where the sort of ranking comes into play. But I think Ice Fang Arctibax is very, very strong. Weak to fighting and weak to fairy and a few other things. So use Golisopod as a safe swap. Like there's still so many good safe swaps. Feraligatr still one of the best safe swaps. This is like I call Golisopod a Feraligatr light. With the bug, you pick up a rock weakness, but you also then resist ground. So like there's a trade-off with that. And then speak about ground, Marowak is one of those Pokemon. Golisopod is a safe swap on this team, but I've mentioned multiple times that Marowak feels so safe even as a safe swap. Obviously flyers are going to cause a better shot. Anything where the ground is, the grass is going to be the biggest issue, but anything where ground is resisted is an issue. But if it's neutral to ground, the Mud Slap and Bone Club, especially from the shadow, like really, really adds up here. I think this was the viewer submitted, testing out new Gliscor with Sand Attack. So Togedemaru weak to ground and fighting, and Azumarill in the back to deal with that, and then Gliscor as your safe swap. Gliscor is kind of an interesting one, right? Gligar was the main safe swap for so many seasons there, till it got nerfed with Wing Attack. Sand Attack makes it a pretty okay fast move. Like only 10 Sand Attacks to an air release, 10 turns worth of moves. That's pretty good. You know, Earthquake is kind of a little slower, 17 to the first one, 16 to the others. So it's a little slower to get the Earthquake, but it does provide you a lot of nice coverage in this meta. And then Azumarill is Azumarill. It's super, super safe, super bulky. We know what Azumarill is. This is one I use. You can obviously use Dugong instead of Walrein, but Galarian Moltres, and I tested the Stunfisk. You can go read my analysis on it. Obviously, Thundershock buff is great. Super, super, super spammy to Discharge and Mud Bombs. 10 at the most, 8 at the least with Mud Bomb. The only problem is it hits so bad that in like neutral matchups against Dunsparce, you basically need like 4 Mud Bombs to take out the Dunsparce. So it does not hit that hard at all. But you know, it does have a lot of coverage in this meta, right? You can hit ground against your Clodsires and your Poisons. You can hit electric against Azumarill and your Feraligatr. So it does have a lot of coverage. Just keep that in mind. Moltres as your flyer because this is weak to grass. So Moltres as your flyer to deal with grass. And then put in Walrein as a safe swap. You can use Dugong. The only difference is like Walrein is much quicker to the Icicle Spears, right? It takes 15 for Dugong to get to the Joran and Icy Wind. It only takes 10 to get to this Icicle Spear. So if you want something that hits pretty hard and is a little spammy on the ice, that is why I used Dugong. Again, I think this was a viewer submitted with Wiggly, Drifblim, Gastrodon. Wiggly feels safe, right? There are not a lot of steals in this meta. There's the fighters. I don't even know if I've showcased I think Primate's coming up. There's the fighters, which you hit super effective against. There's not a lot of steals. There's Sand Slash and maybe like... There's not a lot of steals, right? There's too much ground. There's really too much ground to use a steal unless that steals have ice. So actually, speaking about that, so Sand Slash would be a little tough on the lead and the Drifblim here, so you probably have to stand with Wiggly. But Gastrodon is in the back to deal with that as a ground Mud Slap user. So basically, Gastrodon deals with your steals that Wiggly would have a problem with. Drifblim is your safe swap outside of Sand Slash, which would cause you problems. Speaking of Sand Slash, I think this was an ABB style team from me or either a viewer submitted. Somewhat ABB style. Basically, you're using Diggersby as your safe swap. You're trying to draw out a fighter, Primeape or Annihilape. You're trying to draw out water, Feraligatr, and then you kind of soft lose the lead or the switch there. Azumarill will take care of the rest. And then Sand Slash, hopefully, when you draw that out, you'll not have to see with Feraligatr or stuff like that because you were running Powder Snow. Powder Snow is now better in the meta. Shadow Claw is the community day move. If you got it on your just past community day, okay. But Powder Snow is better just, again, given all the ground in the meta. I do not have a... Oh, yeah, there's Annihilape. Okay. Thunderfang, Steelix, Annihilape, and Jumpluff. Basically, balanced teams. Steelix weak to water and weak to ground and weak to fighting, and Jumpluff will deal with all those. And then Annihilape is your safe swap. Annihilape with Rage Fist counter just is such a hard-hitting move now. Yes, it was nerfed, but still a hard-hitting move. Boosting your attack with Rage Fist or landing in close combat. And the counts are not even bad, like 12 and 16 and a bit of 14 on the next one. Like, those are not terrible counts for something that hits so hard and is generally got way more bulk than Primeape and more safe and stuff like that. So that is it. I will also do top Ultra League teams this afternoon. Merry Christmas Eve if you celebrate. I'll have videos. I still plan to do a couple videos per day here, but just I know it's Christmas and Boxing Day. If you celebrate it, and people are definitely not going to be around as much. My videos. I don't know. Maybe more people will want to watch Great League videos, but I'll just move some Great Leagues into some Ultra Leagues from the my own and those submissions that have come in earlier. So that is it. So why do I have baby stuff behind me? Well, it's not even just some of that. It's a lot of that. So there's the basketball net, but we got a baby gate, baby chair, booster seat, and a swinger over here. No, we're not pregnant. In fact, we are done with this stuff. My parents are here for Christmas. We have bought, we have, over the year, we've started buying some workout stuff. Again, this is just very random, so if you want to click off, go for it. But I used to, when I got a job, I used to never work out because I used to play like 12 sports. So basically, I used to stay in shape with sports, and then I had 3 knee surgeries, so I can't like run or do any sports anymore, plus 2 kids. My first job out of grad school, I was with an organization that like focused on health and your like well-being. So we went like, it was like an organization of 50 people, and 30 of us went to the gym at lunch. And I never had gone to the gym before, and they got me into it. And then I was going 5 times a week because I cannot do anything right. Why do you put out 14 videos a week? Because I cannot do anything just small. I have to go big. So I was going 5 to 6 times a week working out, best shape of my life. And then I got a new job, and they didn't allow me to do that. And then it kind of just fell by the wayside, and then 2 kids, and yeah, 14 videos, so on. So we decided to start accumulating workout stuff. We have, we got a treadmill, we got a spin bike, we got a bench, and we got weights. However, that was all in the room in the basement that had all the baby stuff, all the stuff behind me, all the extra clothes, all the extra stuff. Anyways, we have decided spring cleaning in the winter. So we just went hard. We donated like 4 garbage bags worth of old clothes. So we donated those this morning. These things we're going to try and sell because they probably have good retail value and they're hundreds of dollars. So I mean, not that stuff, but the swinger over here is definitely hundreds of dollars. So we're going to try and sell this stuff. So it's going to stay behind me. And when you see less and less of it, it means I'm selling it. And then, yeah, I'll start working out more. That'll be my analysis video, like year-end wrap-up video, when I'm going to talk about a lot. So check that out, maybe the last Monday of the year. Anyways, that is it. That is a great league. Thanks for watching. Merry Christmas if you celebrate. And check out the Ultra League teams this afternoon. So I'll see you guys in the next one.